everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Best Ball Brunch. I'm Ben Hover, joined by Joey Carrion here
Yes, sir.
today for a DraftKings single entry draft. $15 single entry, one shot, no max entering. You're just taking one shot at the glory.
One chance to win it all. So, right here, $15. We have 9 out of 12 entries, so we actually just lost one. Um, I don't know why it's not showing the full payouts, but what's the first place prize, Ben?
10K.
10K to first, $15 buy-in, one bullet. It's going to be interesting to see how people draft a single entry team. This is my first ever time doing a single entry best ball draft. But I think it's fun. Definitely a nice wrinkle, and everybody's essentially on the same playing field in terms of bankroll and not being able to 150. So should be a fun time. We still need a couple more. So if you're watching this or if you're stopping through periodically, join. We need 3 more to get this going, and we will obviously wait until it fills. So how's it going, Benny? What's new in your life?
Nothing. It's new in your life.
Not much. Just taking it day by day,
Day by day. That's important, That's all we really have is the moment. You could say that the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. It's only right now.
That's deep. We need 3 people. Come on. If you're not joined in this, hop on your phone, load up DraftKings, put some money in your account.
What's up, Zach? Yeah, top 10 basically pays out. Yeah, I've got the payout structure here. So in this one, the final round is actually only 9 people. So it goes round 1, top 2 advance, round 2, top 2 advance. Round 3 is a 12-player group in week 16, top 1 advances, which leaves 9 players. 8th and 9th place, 750, 7th, 1,000, 6, 1.5, 5th, 2, 4, 3. Third gets 4K, second gets 5.5, and then first is 10K. So relatively flat payout structure.
Where do you think your money is the best spent in terms of best ball, Ben?
I think that depends on your bankroll. I think tournaments like this, tournaments like the $12 version of this as a single entry, the 200 double spy on DraftKings, which is a 1,000 person field single entry. I think those are all the highest like EV tournaments, probably smaller field. I mean, it's the same as DFS. Like the higher buy-ins, smaller fields are going to be better. You're going to have a more realistic chance to recognize your value in that draft. So I like those. But then I guess like more popularly, in terms of bigger tournaments, it's hard not to like the drafters one right now. $2.22. You could get a lot of volume in at a cheap price point. There's still, relative to the investment that you're making in that, pretty good. I mean, that's what, like a little over $300 if you max enter it.
$330, I think, exact to 150 it. So
330 to 150 it, and you get a shot at 10K. It's, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of those drafts are pretty soft as well in terms of the competition. The ones that I've done, at least, I've done about like 16 or 17 so far. I'm trying to max it. So
yeah, like people who draft Gabe Davis at 108.
That was for a meme because Oracle was talking crazy on Twitter. So I saw him in a draft. He was at me about my Gabriel Davis love. So I had to take him at the 108. And then I proceeded to still draft the best team in that league.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I like the confidence. And yeah, just with this tournament specifically, I don't think you really have to get too crazy, especially with round 4 only being a 9-player field and the top 2 advance out of the each 2 rounds. Obviously, stacking and correlation and whatnot. But yeah, it's just not a large field that you have to beat if you make it there. With this contest only being 39,000 or 3,900 entries total. So
Damn, we still need 3. Nobody's joining this thing. That's the problem with trying to do these is they fill so slowly.
yeah.
You might have. I didn't actually look at any of the other teams. I was a little bit not of a sober mind state when we were doing that draft last night that I took Gabe Davis at 108, believe it or not. Yeah, Houston, he said he doesn't play on UD much and like the money is better spent elsewhere. That's kind of how I feel. Like I like Underdog. I don't know if I think it's the best financial investment out of the sites.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy to tell that it's the sharpest competition.
Yeah,
Best drafters are on Underdog.
Yeah.
Worst are on DraftKings.
Nah, that's definitely the truth for sure. And with Underdog, I think obviously they market really well and their app is great and whatnot. So a lot of people gravitate towards it. But yeah, if you're just strictly looking for EV for your money in best ball, I mean the really only plus is you can always get in a draft no matter what. If this was Underdog, this would have been filled by now. But
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
DraftKings.
we could have filled like 5 BBMs by now.
Yeah.
So
that is the plus. Obviously, Underdog's a great company, but all of the sharp drafters are over there. And yeah, you're just getting more bang for your buck on drafters and DraftKings, just in terms of value and, significantly easier lobbies in terms of the competition. So I think DraftKings is by far the easiest, though. Like
it is, but their contests are also insane. Like the $5 on DraftKings is 837,000 people. Like for example, the Puppy 2 is what 100K. So like an 8 times bigger field almost, or 7.5 times bigger field on DraftKings. Like that's a lot. That is definitely a lot.
Yeah. All right. 3 people. We might be here a while, Ben.
Yeah, I mean,
we might be here a while. 10 out of 12 now. 10 out of 12. So we need 2 if you're watching this. And you're not in. I'm assuming that everybody watching is in. But
did you see the Zach Wilson stuff on the timeline today?
Yeah, how like his best friend started dating his ex and he was smashing one of his mom's best friends.
Yeah, so his ex started dating his former college roommate, which is wild. That's crazy. Right? So she switched up on him, started banging his roommate, who's a wide receiver on the Commanders that I've never heard of. Probably some scrub that they drafted this year. And people were talking crazy and she's like, yeah, but like look at him. He was banging his mom's best friend. So he's not perfect. She just straight outed him.
Yeah.
Honestly, she's the bad guy in this situation. She starts dating his friend, his best friend, his roommate, and then outs his secrets on the way out.
Yeah, that's kind of dirty, to be honest.
That's insane.
Yeah. I don't know if you can forgive her for doing that at that point. Yeah, wild story. I saw a TikTok about it. That's how I found out about it. I didn't even see it on Twitter. But, it doesn't surprise me one bit with this day and age. So
it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but Speaking of football, why are you laughing?
I didn't know. Were we talking about football?
Well, Zach Wilson is
Okay.
an NFL player. But speaking
All
of
right.
football, got a couple months until the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so fucking excited, man.
What are you excited for?
I'm excited to just, load up DraftKings every Sunday, get the lineups in, and watch football with the homies,
Mm-hmm.
get lit,
Mm-hmm.
and potentially win all of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Does that move Wilson up your quarterback ranks, Ben?
Yeah, he's firmly in my top 12 now. I would say
respect
like
it.
QB 10.
But like all he did was break up with her, and then she homie hopped.
Right. But I'm preemptively moving up for the revenge that I assume he's gonna get.
We're at 11 out of 12. We need one more. If you're watching, one more on the $15 bubble screen, 50K, 10K to first on DraftKings. One more to get this draft going. Single entry, one bullet to win it all. So we got a couple more people in here. Hop on DraftKings, load that shit up right now. Come draft with us, $15. Single entry. Draft, forget about it until January. Come back, check to see if you win 10K. That's my plan.
See, after last year, I mean, I was sweating the drafters finale for like the last month of the season.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I deleted every app because that shit is toxic. Consistently checking your phone and checking your teams and checking your points and refreshing every time a play happens, especially in the playoffs. Like,
I mean, bro, like don't even front like you don't do the same thing, sweating every single moment on Sundays in DFS.
personally, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't look at my lineups until after 1:00. I don't look until after the 4:00 games are over. I make it a point not to look.
Bro, you are just dead ass lying right now.
I'm not. I'm being dead ass serious.
You're dead ass lying. I hang out with you on Sundays. You telling me that you're not like I'm in first, and then what about late swap? You can't wait until after.
No, I'm saying I check right before the 1:00 games are over. But for that whole first half, third quarter, I'm not looking at my DraftKings app when I'm on my phone. I swear to God, on everything.
I'm not buying it.
Especially, I mean, we only hung out a couple times.
Yeah.
For the majority of the season, I was at home just on my computer, and I don't check. I'm telling you, I really don't. I'll check periodically, but I'm not sitting there on my phone refreshing the tournaments every minute, or every time a play happens. Yeah, no.
100%.
Nah, you can't do that. That's so bad for your mental health.
Speaking of mental health, good question from Houston here. Joey, you should take this one. The lack of commitment for me in DFS is to continue playing after poor weeks. How do you stay committed to playing all season despite losing weeks? I mean, we talked about this a lot last year because we were both having a rough stretch during the late period of the season. So we talked about this a lot on the podcast, but what are your thoughts on, how you bounce back after bad weeks and staying committed to the grind?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you just have to realize that at the end of the day, you could run bad for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row, even if you're consistently putting in, plus EV lineups in tournaments or in cash games, right? It's just a sport filled with a lot of natural variance, and it's gambling at the end of the day. So I think just understanding that and obviously consistently going back, making sure your process is correct, going over your lineups, making sure like, all right, did I make a bad play? Like, or was it just, a bad week in terms of variance? Especially if you're really only playing tournaments, right? You know, it's hard to win a tournament with thousands of people. And I think you just have to get in that mindset like shit happens. Like you could run bad. It's just that simple. But then all it takes is 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is 1 week to make your whole season.
Yeah, that's kind of the key. And to me, like the weeks that I think it's really important just to be good about bankroll management. Like you should be only playing enough money that like the losing week shouldn't destroy your like will to keep going. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, I lost this week, but if you're playing in your bankroll, that should be sort of like staggered out, that like you have losing weeks built into your expectation for the year. So like if you're expecting to lose a decent amount of weeks, which you should be if you're playing tournaments right, then you know it's kind of something I think you should be definitely equipped for, because realistically, how many weeks of the season are you going to win a tournament?
Yeah.
In the in NFL DFS,
Yeah.
less than one, right?
Yeah.
Is the expectation.
The expectation is 0.
Right. So you got to build that in, and just, you know, to me, every week is just the opportunity to get crazy and hit that sun run, and that's what you got to do. But here we are. Draft is started. $15 single entry. JT goes first. I'm on the clock. 102. And I am going to take Cup.
Bit of a decision there.
Bit of a decision. I was thinking about what I wanted to do here, but
word. Yeah, no, I mean, Cup and CMC, I think, is very close. And obviously, this is just one draft, so you don't have to worry about, like, you know, spreading your exposures out. And I think Cup is probably just straight up the better pick if you're doing one draft, especially full PPR and bonuses.
Right, 100-yard bonuses,
which DraftKings has, so that you have to take that into account, and that could sway some decisions. You know, whether or not you believe a player is more likely to get a bonus throughout the season. And yeah, just one for one, I probably prefer Cup over CMC if I'm doing one bullet. Derrick Henry at 4. See, there's just no draft board with DraftKings, so that's the only bad part about this website.
You can go to pick history.
Yeah.
Looks terrible.
Yeah. Joe Mixon at 7.
Damn, I thought that this might be a little bit sharper with the
Austin
higher
Eckler
price
at 8.
point. I think that was Houston who got Eckler. It's good value.
All right. So I think from the 11, like, you are kind of pigeonholed, I think, in terms of like ADP into 0 RB, unless you reach, or obviously unless Najee falls. Personally, I'm not too high on Najee. I think I would have like DeAndre Swift above Najee Harris. And I have an interesting decision here. As we can see, I have Diggs, Lamb, Mike Evans, Swift. And I think right here I will go with a player that I think has wide receiver 1 overall upside. I think he's one of 4 players that have it for this year, and that's Stephon Diggs.
I like that.
Zach is 100% taking Najee Harris. I know that.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, do you bang Josh Allen right here on everyone's head?
No.
No?
I mean, Josh Allen, I think, definitely gets moved up in the DraftKings format with obviously the rushing and the passing bonus for sure.
I also think he moves up in a smaller field when you have Diggs, because like less people are going to have that stack.
But the opportunity cost is just extremely high at pick 14 to draft Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So right here, I'm debating between CD or DeAndre Swift. You know what? I'm gonna go 0 RB here.
0 RB for the win?
Yeah, I just want to focus on getting, as much ceiling at the wide receiver position, especially early, and target some of the running backs, especially on a full PPR site that could potentially be the pass catchers on their offense or come into a workhorse role later in the year. And there's a ton of those that we both like in the later rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the wide receiver drop off, I think will happen here shortly.
Aaron Jones, good pick.
And I think just on DraftKings in general, the wide receivers have higher ceilings than running backs.
I mean, more wide receivers can hit 100 yards in a given week than running backs for sure.
Yeah.
So
I think wide receivers are just better picks on DraftKings with the bonus and full PPR. This is a site tailor made for wide receivers.
yeah,
And we see that in DFS as well. Like over the last few years playing DFS, a lot of our cash game lineups, the safe quote unquote plays are wide receivers. Like we're running 4 wide receiver builds a majority of the weeks throughout the year, just because now in the NFL with how pass heavy it is and pass centric it is, wide receivers are just as safe as running backs and have higher ceilings. So I'd want to get as many of those guys early that I can and hopefully just hit on the running backs in the later rounds like Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, CEH, those type of players that their costs are lower, but their upside is high if it works out for them.
Mm-hmm. Nope, could not agree more. Fournette goes, I think, right here. I'm going to just go ahead and take Andrews.
Yeah. Mark Andrews. I mean, yeah, total or not total points, but you can't go wrong with taking Mark Andrews, I don't think.
There's just so few tight ends that have 30 plus in their range, and he's one of them.
And then obviously pairs with, a quarterback that can threaten for the 100-yard rushing bonus every week. Obviously, if he's doing that, though, that's probably hurting Mark Andrews' ceiling a little bit on a game-by-game basis.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Lamar is still great.
So unless this guy double dips with Chargers receivers, I'm going to be grabbing Mike Williams here and have some Week 17 correlation between Kupp and Mike Will.
Yep.
He goes Nick Chubb, so that is an easy selection for me. And now I'm pretty much set up with Mike Will and Mark Andrews to hope for one of Herbert or Lamar to fall to me at this next turn. So that's
unless I take both.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to burn 15, that's fine. It's fine with me. But you're set up for a Dak build, I think.
I'm set up for any build that I want.
It's true.
We'll see who falls here. A lot of players available. A lot of players available.
Got AJ Brown on the board still.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of off AJ Brown.
You're off AJ Brown?
Yeah.
Why would you be off AJ Brown?
Just because I think that I think that the Eagles do want to pass more, but I still think that there are some concerns with Jalen Hurts just as a passer. I think there are still some concerns that they will be a little more run heavy. And then ultimately, I think there is just some quality competition for targets, right? Like AJ Brown isn't in the same situation he was in Tennessee, where he was the only wide receiver there competing with a washed up Julio, Nick Westbrook-Akeen, Adam Humphries, Jeff Swaim. Like now he's competing with Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still in a totally different tier than.
I mean, he's in a different tier, but I'm still off him for fantasy. take DJ Moore here.
It's 2 drafts straight that I've done with you where you're taking DJ Moore. You're really big into the Baker Mayfield effect, I see.
Nah, I just think DJ Moore is a good wide receiver. So I think that he's a player that could see, a 25% target share.
Mm-hmm.
And I want those guys on my team ultimately. And I think Diggs, Lamb, and DJ Moore as my top 3 wide receivers are 3 players that could potentially see a 25+% target share on their respective teams. And a lot of PPR upside and bonus upside with those 3 guys. And then I took Darren Waller because I do think it is kind of important in just a single entry format that I want that upside at tight end. I want that bonus upside, that catch upside. May not be there anymore with Devontae Adams, but I think the touchdown upside and the bonus upside with Darren Waller is just super high.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, he's still a top 3, top 4 tight end in the NFL, right? And I just want that on my team if I'm just drafting one team.
Yeah, that does make sense. Herbert went. I could go Lamar here. A quarterback and a tight end in the first 4 rounds is pretty tough, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, you get your Lamar, Mark Andrews stack. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Probably circle back and take one of these few remaining potential workhorse running backs in either Cam Akers or Breece Hall.
Yeah, I think that I don't know.
The only other player I was considering was Allen Robinson, who just went.
I think just taking a running back in this range just hurts my soul, to be honest. But you're getting Cam Akers at a value, so I don't mind that. But personally,
it's
I
as
would
well.
still take Deontay and Juju over Cam Akers personally.
I mean, Cam Akers has a lot of paths to being an RB1 this year.
Yeah, he also has a lot of paths to not. But he's not being drafted as RB1, so it doesn't matter.
You know what I think, bro? And we'll talk about this week because we're doing our running back rankings podcasts on Monday and Wednesday, which you guys can check out on whatever platform you get podcasts on. I'm going to talk about this, but I think that the running back dead zone has moved. I don't think that it's where it was last year. I think right here is the running back dead zone. J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, Harris, Sanders.
I mean,
Gibson.
This is still part of the traditional running back dead zone, though. The traditional running back dead zone is picks like 33 to 71. Is
right. Well,
traditional dead zone. So
it would be ending at this point, right? Like at about this point.
It'd be ending in about 10 picks. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel really good about picks like Cam Akers and Breece Hall this year. To me, they don't quite fit the mold anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just because like the high ceiling wide receivers have just gotten moved up, so far. I mean, right here is an easy draft.
Mooney, love it.
Just give me all the value at wide receiver. Now, right here is just the decision, right? This is where I truly don't know what to do. You know what? I'm going to take a shot for that late season upside in Chris Godwin. Start 5 wide receivers and 1 tight end. There's my start. Have that safe floor with these 4 guys and a crazy ceiling. And then Chris Godwin obviously won't be ready for the season, but playing for week 17, I want that potential late season run, and Chris Godwin could be an integral part of that run if this team does well. So,
You got DJ Moore Godwin correlation for week 17.
yep.
Sitting pretty.
Yep. So, yeah, and I think that's also another thing is like you really don't have to correlate like your first 5 to 6 picks. I mean, if it works out, it works out, but like there's so many players you can mini correlate throughout the draft that you don't necessarily have to focus on it early and, sacrifice value for your week 17 correlation, especially in a field of 9 people in the final round for this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Went Dylan there as my RB2. Feel good about that.
Yeah,
Definitely need a third receiver.
Yeah, I have 0 running backs so far. So I think we're doing this 0 running back thing right.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the rounds like this 7 through 10 round where I'm just gonna hammer these 0 RBs targets, and hopefully I have some good options here when this comes up, when my next pick comes up. I mean, right here. I mean, Zach Ertz, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was terrible. So like the wide receivers here.
I mean, I think it's
going to be Elijah Moore, Devontae Smith. I mean, I could take Alan Lazard, but I'm not a stone fucking donkey, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easily Devontae Smith here for you.
No, Smith over Moore.
Yeah,
I think in full PPR, Moore definitely has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, all the stuff you were saying about like the Eagles maybe being more run heavy and maybe having all these other targets. I think Smith gets hurt a lot more than AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know what Devontae Smith's season is going to look like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see that. But Devontae Smith was actually really good as a rookie, and, him and Jalen Hurts kind of have a connection there going. So I think that he's fine at his current price. It's all relative to price.
For sure.
Like, how much is A.J. Brown going to out-target Devontae Smith, right? That's really the question you have to ask. If you think he's going to out-target him by a bunch, then A.J. Brown's ADP makes sense. If you think it's going to be closer, Devontae Smith makes sense as, the target in that offense for fantasy.
I think he probably has, like, if they're both healthy, like 400 more yards. A.J. Brown does. Maybe 3-4 more touchdowns.
I mean, perfect time right here to take Tony Pollard.
I mean, are you going Dak here then?
Yeah, I'm taking Dak if Zach doesn't take him. I don't think Zach will take him. It doesn't make sense for his team. He takes Miles Sanders. Yeah, I think I have to take Dak and get the double with Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb. Even though, I just need that upside at quarterback. Mm-hmm. I need to do it, especially in a tournament format.
No, that makes sense.
Obviously, Tony Pollard as my RB1 isn't great, but hopefully at this next turn I can get 2 more running backs and hopefully can make up for it. And I'm definitely taking 6 or maybe even 7 running backs in a build like this where I'll be pretty straight at the onesie position. I don't need more than 1 or more than 2 tight ends. I invested a lot of capital early into the wide receiver position, so I don't necessarily have to take like 10. I think that's just really bad, especially if you go 5 wide receivers in your first 6 picks. Like, you're expecting them to hit and stay healthy. right? So I'll probably stop at 7 wide receivers, to be honest. Maybe 8, I think, or probably 8, just because it is 20 rounds. You get those extra 2 picks. With Dak, I think you only need 2 quarterbacks. So my focus is just getting upside pass catching running backs from here on out for these next 5 rounds.
Checks out to me. I go Brandon Ayuk here with my 8th round pick.
Let's see what you're rocking with on your team. Let's see.
I think I'm looking pretty solid.
Lamar, Cam, AJ Dillon, Cooper Kupp, Mike Will, Elijah Moore, Mark Andrews, Brandon Ayuk. Houston says, I think stacking a full offense in this format can be plus EV when top 2 make it out of this draft. Yeah, the top 2 make it out of the first 2 rounds, actually. So, yeah, I think just betting on one offense can definitely have some value, but there can also be some downside to it as well, especially if that offense fails. But I think that...
But we're only drafting for upside.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not worried about the downside of my failure.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. I burn $15 on dumb shit every single day. But what I don't burn it on is chances at winning 10K.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need some running backs.
I definitely need some running backs. But you can't be good at every position. That's the thing with fantasy football, unless you're just playing with 10-year-olds. You cannot be good at every position. And a lot of my targets are going.
Yeah.
So it is looking a little rough. I'm definitely going to double tap running back here with the options that I have.
Probably feel like Gordon would be a good pick for you. You know, you need production.
Nah, with this, I'm strictly just shooting for upside.
Think Stevenson has more upside than Gordon?
Yeah, I mean, if it works out for him, yes.
Gotta
look at my team. 9, 10 by 11.
Kenneth Walker.
I mean, Melvin Gordon is probably a good pick just at his ADP. Like, he'll probably have a good season. I just want straight ceiling with a team like this, especially at the running back position. I want dudes that, can play in the pass game, which I think Tony Pollard and Ramondre Stevenson can. I think there's ways that Stevenson becomes the pass-catching back sooner than later in that offense, with James White still not being fully ready to come back from his hip injury that he suffered last year. And then obviously if Harris were to ever go down, I think Ramondre steps into that workhorse role. Tony Pollard obviously correlates very well with Dak and just the Cowboys offense in general. He's probably coming in to be that third down change of pace, pass catching back, and can definitely give me some spike weeks. And then Kenneth Walker is just that, rookie running back that could bloom as the season goes on. Competing with Rashad Penny, obviously, I don't mind Penny, but I'm just taking whichever back drops in that offense. And Kenneth Walker can definitely become a workhorse if the situation breaks right for him. Obviously, Melvin Gordon can as well, but I think that I'd rather just take a shot on, these guys and have their upside instead of Melvin Gordon's, relatively safe floor.
Makes sense. I'm going to take Madison here just for the, annual 3 to 4 games that Dalvin Cook misses. I'll have a surefire running back one for that span.
Don't blame you. Do not blame you. All right. So I think I'm going to be looking for some Titans players. I think I can get a couple late to correlate with my Cowboy stack for week 17. Getting maybe a Rams player late could be beneficial, a Chargers player. So right now, just from this point on, I'm just going to be looking to correlate my roster for week 17.
Mm-hmm.
And just try and make as many plus EV selections as possible from here on out that makes sense for my team.
Yep, I'll be looking to do that as well. Looks like I'm about to get a good value. Fuck on Chase Claypool, which I don't because he goes for my 17 bring back on the Ravens, but that's fine. I will take Tyler Boyd 13 picks past ADP. That's fine.
Yeah, Zach said if Penny can continue where he left off last season, he's going to be a real value. Yeah. Penny was like one of the best running backs in the NFL last year. So if he could stay healthy, I think that he could definitely provide some value this year for sure. Then Houston says, what thoughts on Drafters 20? Better contest than BBM3, potential overlay, not the $1 million. Hesitant to join because of the money.
I think it's a better tournament, personally.
Same buy-in. Way less people, obviously. Total points, full PPR. Less sharp drafters. I mean, you can make the case that it is better.
Potential overlay.
I'm on the clock.
Definitely. I think that there's a real good chance of overlay in that tournament. I mean, yeah. It's not even 10% full yet.
I think I go Hines here. I mean, if you're shooting
strictly for upside, you should go like Rojo, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you're a Rashad White guy.
I don't mind him. And I think there is a teardrop after Ronald Jones. So I think I definitely have to take one of these two and have my 5 running backs. Like I said, I was going to hammer. So, I'll go with the theme of my draft personally. Just if I'm right, drafting is if I'm right. Leonard Fournette. You seen the video of him on the treadmill?
No.
Yeah, dude's looking big and slow.
Big and slow?
Yeah.
Not Fournette. That's crazy. UD is going to continue to launch tourneys all the way to the start of the season. Yeah, I mean, we could get like Puppy 4 by August. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. 14, 11, 10, 9, 11.
I mean, I would be ecstatic for Rojo to fall to me here.
Will he fall? That's the question. Only a couple picks past ADP. I don't mind Ronald Jones, but I do think CH is the better pick, personally.
At cost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with that. Well, I mean, I like both of them, but
I mean, Ronald Jones is just not going to catch any passes, right? So you're realistically only drafting him for the rushing upside and the touchdown.
You're drafting him to be this year's upside. James Conner.
But he's not going to be James Conner because he's not going to catch passes. James Conner is actually competent in the backfield, in the passing game. And, they trusted him out there on passing downs when Chase Edmonds got injured, right? Ronald Jones is not going to catch passes. Just, it's not going to happen, right? They'll obviously have CH there, and then say CH gets hurt, they'll put in Jerick McKinnon before Ronald Jones. Like he's their third option in terms of pass catchers out of the backfield. So you're strictly drafting him for that potential touchdown upside, and I think he could definitely, get there on touchdowns. Maybe if he scores 10, but it's the NFL. Touchdowns are variance, right? Every year, you can't predict touchdowns. So drafting a player like that, I don't think makes a ton of sense. So I've kind of came off Ronald Jones a little bit and, been focused on getting more CEH just because I think that CEH will have the pass game role plus a share of the rushing opportunity in that offense as well. And he's the cheapest price that he's ever been. And for me, that's what it's all about. It's all about price. Obviously, I don't think he's that great of a player, that great of a talent, but he's not a first round pick anymore. He's not a third round pick anymore, like how he was his first 2 years. He's an 8th round pick now. So I'm in on CH, especially when he's in that range of those players that have potential league winning upside. And that's the range that you want to start targeting running backs again after the dead zone. So he's just in that perfect spot, and he's in the perfect situation for his costs now. So I think he's a significantly better pick than Ronald Jones for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, Ronald Jones could easily score 12 to 15 touchdowns if he has the, goal line work locked down to himself, which he could, probably should. CEH has been abysmal in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, but like I
there's
said,
nothing more
touchdowns
painful
are
than
just
looking at his little body try and get past the line and just getting stuffed every single time. It's been a painful thing to watch the last 2 years.
Yeah, nah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is he definitely has the touchdown upside, but like I said, touchdowns are just variance. So I'm not betting on Ronald Jones to score 12 to 15 touchdowns. Like that's just a bad bet, in my opinion. Especially on one of the teams that are going to lead the NFL in pass rate over expectation, right? They were first in the NFL in pass rate over expectation last year. And when they get down to the red zone, I mean, we all watch Chiefs games because they're always on prime time. These motherfuckers get to the 1-2 yard line and do those fucking little trick play bullshits every single time. They don't run the ball.
Yeah, here's a little 1 yard fucking shuffle to Kelsey.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
So, there's no guarantee that Ronald Jones sees a lot of goal line work.
There's no guarantees in anything in life.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but yeah, I think CH is just a significantly better pick. But either way, with my last 2 picks, I went Josh Palmer and DJ Chark. So Josh Palmer correlates in week 17 with I don't think I have a Ram. Do I have no? They play the Rams. No, I don't have a Ram. But I still love Josh Palmer as an upside wide receiver late. And then DJ Chark correlates with Darnell Mooney for my team for week 17.
I mean, the scumbag took Jared Goff. So now I just got to take a QB2 as sort of, I'll just go Baker.
Baker Mayfield. What a guy. Deshaun Watson. Pick 168. That's funny because I wanted Deshaun Watson.
I mean, I'll probably just take Robbie here for the potential stack, assuming he doesn't get traded. We'll see. See about that.
Dang. I'm gonna really need Dak Prescott to work out this year because these quarterbacks are looking grim.
I would have taken Zach Wilson there to stack with Elijah Moore, but same bye week as Lamar. So.
That's
truly
a tough
unfortunate.
scene.
Yeah,
That is a tough scene for sure.
indeed.
All right, yeah. So right now I'm just looking over at my other screen to figure out some mini correlations I can make in these last rounds. So that's why I'm consistently looking over it.
You're not checking your DMs. I know you've been having a couple, females flood your shit lately.
I'm looking at week 17 schedules. Should I have them memorized? I think you should. I know some of them, but
I think I could name every single one. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably like a bad thing to say because I probably can't. Who do the Eagles play?
oh, Darren Waller and Austin Hooper have the same bye. That's so unfortunate. Oh my god. That is so unfortunate, bruh. I guess I'll just do Hurst and Diggs mini correlation there. Hooper would have been such a good pick, man. Oh, and I'm going to take, I mean, both of these are either going to be on stack, but who has more upside, Zach Wilson or Ryan Tannehill? Because both
Wilson.
correlate with my team. All right, Zach Wilson.
I think Wilson.
Because the Jets and the Seahawks play week 17. I have Kenneth Walker. Zach Wilson makes sense. Or I could have went Tannehill for the week 17 correlation with the Cowboys. But I do think that Zach Wilson has more upside than Ryan Tannehill this year. The Jets have a lot of good skill position players on offense.
They really do.
Obviously, we just have to see it, but and Corey Davis goes. So there's really no late round Jets players that.
Bro, Braxton Berrios.
Oh yeah. Well, you just mentioned him. Now he's going to get taken.
Damn, Corey Davis was still on the board. That's crazy. I waited too long. I should have taken a tight end at that last turn. I mean, I guess I'm fine with Andrews.
Now this is the point where it's like these running backs aren't great, but like there could be a winner in these trash running backs, or they could just be trash.
I'll take Campbell here.
All right. So I'm looking to get a Titans player. So I think I could definitely get Nick Westbrook-Akina here late. Conklin. Yeah, I could do Conklin for the Jets, but I already have Darren Waller. And just on tournaments like these, especially with higher buy-in, I'm strictly just focused on roster construction. Obviously everybody has player takes, but I think just roster construction and correlation matter way more than the individual players that you're drafting. And taking more than 2 tight ends when I have Darren Waller just doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yep.
Especially,
agree with that.
Yeah, because I mean it's the easiest thing to say and do, but like you just have to draft as if you're right about every player you pick. And obviously factor in their costs, right? So if I'm drafting Darren Waller in the 4th round, like I'm expecting him to be an elite tight end, and those tight ends aren't making my roster pretty much at all ever. Besides, the bye week.
Yeah. No, and I mean I gotta definitely treat Mark Andrews the same way.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have another high upside tight end, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And then it's like kind of the same thing that I was saying with wide receiver. Like, since I personally invested a lot of capital early, I'm not going to take 9 to 10. I will take 1 I'm gonna take one more and be done. Out of these last 4 picks.
And the thing with tight end, even like if Andrews is having his floor games, like last year he only had 2 games under 9 points. And like if he's given me those games where he gets like 7.8, what are the chances that one of these other tight ends are also putting up like 7.8 or 8 or 9 points? Like, I mean, tight end is just so trash.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that since DraftKings is 20 rounds, you can definitely go 3 tight ends. So maybe, I just consider that in the 20th round, like taking the shot on a low-owned tight end. But probably not.
I mean, for your 0 RB team, I think you're better off taking running backs.
Yeah, I have 6 right now with 2 more picks. So right here, I think I do have a correlation that I can do. No, I don't. Actually. But we'll see. I think I can afford to take the upside shot with Will Fuller in the 18th round, and hopefully he signs to a team.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell is Will Fuller up to these days?
Yeah, I tweeted, I wonder what Will Fuller's doing.
Does Will Fuller have a Twitter?
Dude's fucking chilling, bruh. Let's Google search Will Fuller and see what pops up.
He does not have a Twitter account.
Bro, we need to find this man like in real life and get the inside scoop.
Hey, I'm with that.
Cause he's like one of like 2 free agents left that can impact, fantasy.
Who's the other?
Julio Jones, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't mind taking a shot on Julio in the 18th, or not Julio, Will Fuller in the 18th round. As an upside wide receiver. I still think he will be on a team come week 1. Or he doesn't play at all, and it's
We never hear from him again. Yeah. Who's a better tight end pick? Cade Otton to win the job over Cameron Braid, or Trey McBride, the top rookie in the class, in a equally good offense to overtake Zach Ertz?
That's a question for the chat. I'm not too sure. I think that Cade Otton is probably the better pick. Just because I think that he could see the field faster, but obviously rookie tight ends just struggle in general.
And I mean, this tight end class is supposedly like pretty bad outside of McBride. Like the only reason we're talking about Otton is because Gronk retired. But McBride, I mean,
or you take Gronk and hope he comes back. But I don't think you could risk that in a 2 tight end build. Gronk is a 3 tight end build player only.
Well, this goofy ass dude took Trey McBride, so who did it? Was it somebody that we like?
That was you.
Oh. Using my queue, I got autoed. I'll bet. Got McBride.
You said, who's this goofy ass dude taking Trey McBride? It's you, dude. You're the goofy ass motherfucker. Boy, queued him up, didn't even notice.
I didn't know I was on the clock, bro. I was deep in thought trying to figure out who I should take. Decision was made for me.
All right. Go Barrios here with this next pick. And do I go RB7 or tight end 3?
Not tight end 3.
So RB7.
I would say RB7 or wide receiver 10.
I don't need 10 wide receivers with this team.
I mean, you don't, but also you do need early season production. With Godwin gone, Will Fuller's a total question mark. Are the other 7 receivers good enough to get you by?
I mean,
The
Diggs,
first 8
Lamb,
weeks?
Moore, Mooney, Palmer, Chark,
Yeah.
maybe.
Chark is definitely a guy I like for those builds.
I'll take a shot on Mateo.
Mateo. That's a good pick. You might be like one of like 2 or 3 teams that have him in this contest too.
Yeah. Just a shot at RB7. If Najee Harris goes down, this dude probably rises up the depth chart. They gave him the biggest undrafted free agent contract in Steelers like history.
Mm-hmm.
And the competition above him is what? Benny Snell. Fucking.
Is Kalen Balaj still there?
I mean, if
he
Kalen
is.
Balaj is there, that's
I'm pretty
light
sure
work.
he is.
I don't think Kalen Balaj is in the NFL anymore, to be honest.
Probably shouldn't be.
It's Najee, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland, and then Mateo Durant is listed 4th on the depth chart. So Kalen Balaj is not on the Steelers anymore. Oh, he took your boy Terrace Marshall.
Bruh. No shot he took Terrace Marshall.
I knew you were going to take him.
That's insanity, bro.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't. Oh, I do have a rookie receiver. I was going to say I don't. But you know who I'm going to take? I'm going to just take my boy Justin Ross. Why not?
Fuck it.
Fuck it, dude. He's probably going to get cut before the season, but whatever.
All right. Good draft.
Good draft. Great draft.
Good draft.
What a
everybody. Time. I wish I could pull up the team, just like see if I refresh what will happen. Nothing. Why don't these sites have the feature that Drafters has where I can click on your team and it pops up right in the middle of the screen? Mm-hmm. I don't understand that, dude. Like, I feel like that's so easy to do. All right. So we just got to look at it from the right. So this is my squad.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb stack. Stopped right there.
I like it.
No bring back. Or no, Hassan Haskins bring back.
So Haskins bring back.
We'll have to see what happens with Derrick Henry, but he's probably not a factor. But either way, he is technically the bring back for the stack in week 17. And then we got a nice 0 RB build here with Pollard, Stevenson, Pollard, Ramondre, Kenneth Walker, Hines, Rashad White, Hassan Haskins, and Mateo Durant. And then
it's a pretty solid team.
The wide receiver core is pretty elite with Diggs, CD, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chris Godwin for that late season, not even late mid-season addition. Josh Palmer, DJ Chark, Will Fuller, Braxton Berrios. So stack both my quarterbacks with Dak and Zach Wilson and Darren Waller and Hayden Hurst at tight end.
Got bringbacks all over the place. You got a nice Chark. Mooney correlation, got some DJ Moore Godwin correlation.
Zach Wilson, Berrios stack with Kenneth Walker on the bring back. DJ Moore correlated with Rashad White and Chris Godwin. I don't think there's anything else though.
Praying for you, bro, that you'll be able to get the other advanced spot other than the one that I've already got reserved.
You got it reserved?
Yeah, bro.
Is your team that nasty?
You must not have seen what I was cooking up over there with the
Is your
Ravens
team that
stack.
nasty?
I think it's pretty fire. 2, 6, 10, 3. I got the Lamar, Mark Andrews stack with no bring back. I tried to get Chase Claypool at one point, but he got sniped. I like my running back core. Went 6 running backs. I think there's a ton of upside in the position group. Pretty low floor, I would say, but that's okay. Akers, Dillon, Chase Edmonds, Alexander Madison, Rojo, Zamir White-Late. Like, there's more than enough upside there. Wide receivers are good. I got Cup, Mike Williams correlation for week 17, Elijah Moore, Ayuk, Boyd, Jamison Williams. I think it's a pretty solid ass team with upside all over the place.
Yeah. I agree. I think that we kind of had the same build.
Mm-hmm.
So our teams are very similar, and it really will just come down to if the players work out or not for our teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think construction wise, yeah, I mean, you kind of didn't go 0 RB. I want to consider Cam Akers a 0 RB guy. But you definitely hammered wide receiver, and obviously you took Mark Andrews early and got a good quarterback. So kind of 0 RB, but not really.
Yeah, pseudo 0 RB. Who else? We got Houston in here. We got Zach in here. IC in here.
Let's look at Zach's team. He was drafting from the 12 spot. Right after me, he got the Tua Waddle stack with Jasicki too.
I like that. And Kendrick Bourne bring back.
So I like that, and I think that people have done some research out there that the quarterback, wide receiver 1, tight end 1 is the best stack you can get in best ball, or one of the best.
Well, I mean, he got the wide receiver 2 tight end stack.
Hey. Would it shock anybody if Jalen Waddle has more catches than Tyreek Hill?
Catches? No. Points? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, just for Hill's upside,
floored.
but I think Waddle has a lot of upside in full PPR.
No, he does. He does for sure.
I think it's definitely in the range that he finishes with more catches than Tyreek. Now, yards and touchdowns, who knows? But catches, I think he can. But either way.
Looking at the rest of his team, it's pretty good. He also got a Daniel Jones, Kenny Golladay stack. Jacoby Brissett is a QB3 late.
Dearness Johnson.
Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, I mean, very correlated. Stacked all 3 of his quarterbacks. The only thing I don't like is obviously leaving the draft with, Tua as my QB1. I view him more of a QB2, but he definitely has the players around him to, take that leap.
Yeah, I mean,
that
those
3rd-year leap.
4 wide receivers are pretty goddamn nasty, and Adams, Sutton, Waddle, Bateman, set up really well with that.
Yeah.
Najee's obviously a stone cold workhorse, so.
Yep. Obviously, Sanders, there's some concern around him. I don't necessarily like him too much, but with Penny and who else? Marlon Mack, Dearness Johnson. Yeah, I think running back is the weakest position of this team.
Yep. Everything else is good. Like you said, can't be great.
Which is surprising because Zach is a big running back guy.
Is he?
He is.
Are you sure that's not just because every draft we do with him, he gets the 101 for the most part?
That is true.
How about Houston? I haven't done a draft with Houston in a while. It's been a minute.
I mean, he got the Herbert, Eckler stack, DeAndre Swift, Michael Pittman, Juju. It's a solid team. I think the depth is a little shaky from, Rondale Moore on. Khalil Herbert, Evan Ingram, Nico Collins, Bell, Mike Davis, and KJ Hamler. A lot of these guys definitely have lower floors than, I would like, but I think some of their ceilings are, kind of high with Hamler and Nico Collins and Evan Ingram. And if, Demont were to ever go down, Khalil Herbert is like that prototypical handcuff running back that you want. So I don't mind that. But nonetheless, I think the top part of his roster is very, very good.
Yeah, super solid. I mean, I like some of the depth as well, like London, Cook, um, Collins for sure. Well built, 2'5", 10'3". Makes a ton of sense. Like when you go Herbert early, or definitely good with two quarterbacks, and just take shots at touchdown upside at tight end. Did that with Tunyon and Ingram, K. Dotton towards the end.
Yeah, just obviously no bring back for his Charger stack.
Mm-hmm.
But like we didn't even bring back our stacks either. But I think in a field of 9, like it's not necessarily like it's not a necessity, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to focus on making sure you have a bring back in that small of a field. I think the last one is I see Jamar Chase, Debo, and AJ Brown. And Gabe Davis. That's crazy. See, he went 7. He went 7 wide receivers, which talked about quite a bit. 4 tight ends because he waited late. So he took Albert O, Austin Hooper, Brevin Jordan, and Bellinger. Never heard of him before.
Apparently, he plays for the New York Giants. Could overtake Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah, field of 9 is a cash game. Yep. I completely agree personally.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's a 10-man cash game week 17. Playing for $10K off a $15 buy-in.
I mean, the receivers are nasty. I mean, he's got a nice Kyler to Hopkins stack too.
Yeah, he kind of went 0 RB as well. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins going to like the 6th round. But Kareem Hunt, and then Melvin Gordon, Michael Carter. This guy, I don't know how to say his last name.
Algier,
Davis Price for the Niners. Benjamin. So he went 7 running backs as well, just like I did. And I think it makes a ton of sense with his team, especially when he has Kyler, so he only had to draft 2. He has a lot of capital invested into the wide receiver position early. Don't need more than 7 or 8 if you do that. So I totally agree with that, and just taking as many stabs at tight end as you possibly can.
And don't even sleep on the low-key Trey Lance Debo stack. I mean, that could be the highest upside stack on his roster, low-key. Got Chase Davis, week 17 correlation.
And then Kyler and D-Hop. Yeah, those are two. Those are 2 very good stacks, in my opinion. With a lot, and this lineup has a lot of correlation. So
this team is dangerous.
This team is dangerous. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, you might have just lost your spot.
Damn.
In the advancement.
I lost my spot.
Yeah, I lose my spot. You might have lost yours. I don't know.
I lost my spot.
Hey, if it can't be for one of us, let's hope it's for one of the boys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. There's a very good chance.
Yeah, we had 5 people from the Discord in this draft, so at least one of us.
One of us is advancing, 100%. Like, especially when these dudes are drafting Zach Ertz in the 6th round. Like, Derrick Henry 4th overall in a single entry contest.
Yeah, I don't know if Huff Dog 69 is gonna make it.
All right, I gotta look at his team. Yeah, Derrick Henry. Who's the dude that drafted? Yeah, Zach Ertz, tight end 1 overall. I mean, his team isn't bad other than that, but such a bad pick.
Yeah.
But either way, good draft.
Good draft. That was fun. I like doing these single entries. We'll do the $12 at some point, maybe a little closer to the seasons. Tua going to shut the haters up this year. I'm hoping. Hell yeah. I'm on the Tua train with you, brother. So we're just silently like disagreeing.
Yeah, maybe that's just my bias against the Dolphins or whatever. I don't know. He could definitely have a good year. They have a lot of good players now there to help him. He could definitely take a leap for sure.
Oh man, what a stream. What a stream, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Anything else we got to get to? Not really. I mean,
No.
guys
Shout
are
out to everybody
interested in-
watching. Subscribe to the YouTube, like the stream, and go on the link and subscribe to our podcast and make sure you have downloads turned on. That helps us out a ton.
Please download the pod, leave a review, do whatever. It helps us out. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we'll be back next week, Sunday, same time, drafting every Sunday. Best ball brunch.
Every Sunday until the 11th of September. We have 2 months.
Yes.
2 months and 1 day until the first main slate of the NFL season. And we will be live 2 months from yesterday with our late night DFS live stream of 2022.
Those are the best times. Getting home Saturday night, just prepping to lose all of our money the next day.
Yeah, so can't fucking wait. But yes, drafts until then every single Sunday. So,
all right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Running Back Rankings podcast dropping this week wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you check it out.